Hello. Yeah, it's been 4 years, so sorry about that. But thanks so much for the positive response on the last videos. This is part two. I go over the suspension, vacuum pipes and the horn. I think everyone who's had one of these cars will have to do all those jobs at some point. I haven't been doing nothing over the past 4 years, by the way, and have recorded a lot of videos but I haven't had a chance to upload any of them. I will do a short video at the end showing the cars I've had over the past 4 years. If something really interests you, put it in the comments and I'll upload a video about it. I've also done a lot more Bentley stuff, like servicing and fitting a subwoofer to the standard stereo and so on. So let me know if that's something you want to see. Oh, and in the past few weeks I got a new car for the channel, so I'll reveal that at the end. So the Audi platform is a bit notorious for bushes anyway. My Bentley's not going to be any different because it's been lowered and it's got those spacers on there. The top arm bushes fail all the time, so even if it feels like they're okay and they don't pick it up on the MOT, probably want to give them a check anyway. It kind of has a knock-on effect as well to all the other bushes that are on there. One way to know is you might hear some squeaking over speed bumps, or steering feels a bit vague at lower speeds. It's not going to be the easiest of jobs, but with a weekend free it's going to be really achievable and well worth doing. So the whole point of this channel is to show how affordable it is to maintain these cars. So I'm not going to spend the 1600 quid with flying spurs for a kit. So I'm going to see what I can use after a £350 kit for the A8 off of eBay. The front suspension is held in by the sort of carrier. Holds the shock in there and also the top arm bushes. Before you do anything, you want to put the car into jack mode. Otherwise it will just keep raising up the suspension. So you press down the two suspension buttons and then an error code will come up. Then you can jack the car up. It's just as easy to take it out of jack mode, hold the two buttons in there, it will take the error code away. So once you've done that, you can take the air line off the shock. You can then remove the bolt holding the top arm ball joints. Remove the bolt from the bottom of the shock and you've got three multi-spline bolts at the top that take the carrier out. Once the carrier is out, you have access to change the top arms and the shock. The front and bottom arms are completely different. They're made just for the Bentley, and these are cast iron. They're put in from the factory with the subframe, so there's no way of getting the bolt at the back. You're going to have to cut it. You could obviously drop the subframe to get them out, but I think that's going to cause more problems than it's worth to just do this one little job. So the front and bottom arms I have come as a set, and they're aluminium as opposed to the iron. The other difference is that the anti-roll bar is a bit beefier in the Bentley than it is for the A8, so I've had to drill the hole out from 10mm to 11, so I think that should be okay. As you can see, the bushes need changing anyway, and I've got the bit here, so we'll put it on and see how it gets on. So after driving it around for a few months, I can say it's absolutely fine. We went to France a few times, the Festival of Speed with my dad, had absolutely no problems at all. And the difference before and after from doing all these bushes, it is well worth it. It feels more precise and sporty, where before it was a bit wallowy around the corners. The other part that's different from the standard A8 kit that you would buy is the actual anti-roll bar link pin itself. As I said, it's much bigger on the Bentley, so you'd probably have to get a genuine one or find a replacement specifically for that car. There isn't like a cheaper option.
Do you need a bit of saw?
The worst case here obviously is you have to drop the subframe, take the engine and gearbox out to get to the pipes that run across the top. But there are a few other pipes that are accessible that's well worth having a look at. My car started to stall at traffic lights and the idle was a bit rubbish. It's classic signs of the vacuum pipes going. I bought one of those little cheap cameras off eBay and poked it around the back and had a look around. I couldn't see anything that was obviously broken. There's also a vacuum pump that tries to keep the pressure up. If the pipe's split, the pump burns out. The first and easiest pipe to get to is next to the master cylinder. It goes back round through the firewall and into a sensor around there. As you can see, mine was cracked and falling apart anyway, so I cut the crack bits off and replaced with a bit of silicone hose. So I just put loads of WD-40 around the pipe, push it on there, and it's a really tight fit. I was really happy with that. Secondly, there's a vacuum reservoir on the passenger side. So take the wheel well out and you can see the reservoir in there along with the pump. Again, this one just fell off basically, so rather than just do the end of it, I changed the whole pipe. It's been great ever since I did that. Didn't have any problems. I'm not saying that's going to fix everybody's problems, but it is worth having a look anyway. So I'm sure there's perfectly fine cars out there that are running fine and they do have things cracked, so it would stop your pump burning out in the future. So the horn is extremely common. You can see how far down it is into the ground and it's all open to the elements. As you can see, mine's just completely gone, nothing left, and I think there's quite a few cars out there with the same thing. So a cheap kit off eBay for the A8, you get the brackets in there, you get the plugs and everything. Won't take you very long to do. So it is a really easy job to do over the weekend. Just on a side note there, you can see I use a lot of stone chip on everything, obviously to prevent for the rust. One place you can do is the power steering pipes. They always flake off and they do rust through over time. So that is an area that would need some attention. Just keeps them going for a little bit longer. So yeah, as I promised, here's a list of the cars I've had since I've been away. I had 2 Range Rover Sports, both TD-V8s. I think they're the ones to get when they're working. Incidentally, both needed the same right side intake manifold, but I always got my son to school no matter what the weather was like. This is the LS430, I may want to start the channel. I don't think there's a better example of beer money than this one. It only cost me 800 quid, and it will definitely out-tech most new cars. I got an S320 to see if that would be a good replacement for the Lexus, and it definitely wasn't. I got this 730D. Again, I thought that might be a good replacement, but no, that definitely wasn't either. And I did get this Audi A8, a 3 litre diesel, and that was actually really good. I got it remapped. It reminded me a lot of the Bentley, but it did die death when the bottom pulley broke, and I didn't get the time to fix it. I had an E63 Estate. Well, that was more show than go. I only paid about £6 for that one. The biggest surprise was the 911 I had. I didn't really have much love for these cars, to be honest, but when I got it as part exchange for the Bentley, I actually really enjoyed it. Then obviously I got another Bentley. It's a bit newer and it's got the money on the spec. And now, new for the channel, I have this Maserati 4200. It's got the F1 gearbox, so I'm sure I'm going to have fun working on that. I got it for £5,500, and all it needs at the minute is an MOT. So I'll be uploading some videos on that soon. Well, you made it this far, so please like and subscribe. No better boost than seeing people subscribing. Comment on what car you would like to see a video on, because I have loads. And I'll also be uploading some old videos of my day job, building rotary engines in there as well. See you soon.